Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Art of Sherlock Holmes interview. It's a very special one today because we have Alex Arshansky dialing in. Alex, where are you dialing from?
Hello, guys. I am dialing in from San Diego, California. It's typically sunny, but unfortunately not today. We have an unusually rainy day, so it's a sad weather outside. But nonetheless, hopefully my smile will carry on the spirit of San Diego.
Fantastic. Well, normally, those of you that have been watching the interviews with the other artists, you'll know that I do all of the interviews from my home office, which is in London. So normally I would share that rain with you, but today I'm actually dialing in from West Palm Beach, and I'm more a bit about why I'm here in West Palm. But actually, I can tell you that it's about 32 degrees and it's sunny here in West Palm. So apologies for that, Alex, but I've got all of the sunshine.
That's all right.
No
That's
worries.
all right.
Why don't we dive straight into your art, Alex? Tell us a bit about this piece.
This piece. Well, you can see I have a very specific style of art. It's very colorful. It's called biomorphic cubism. So this specific piece, I would say it's inspired by, different things inspire me. And this one, a very unusual one, I guess, is inspired by this concept of reality shows, this competition, this sort of craziness that is involved. It's called Pandora's Box, and there are multiple stories within a story. And of course, just please take a look at it. I don't enjoy discussing my pieces in a way that, oh, this is what it's about. I prefer to be the observer, and oftentimes in a gallery, I just stand and listen to what people are saying about my work, because it's, the process is very random. I just allow things to flow out. So this is one of those, very typical representative pieces of what I do. It is about this concept of competition, drama, how we sometimes create things out of nothing. We open the Pandora's box.
That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I love your work because there's just so much
going
on in them. And again, if we jump into this second piece, this has a kind of a nautical sea theme, I think.
Oh, this is, well, by the way, I actually, take a look. I have it right here.
Oh, fantastic.
Right in front of me, just so you can appreciate the scale. This piece is a very different concept. I'm a very spiritual person who pays a lot of attention to signs and symbols, and my work reflects this. This piece is called an aquarium. It is my a specific, I guess, appreciation for a sign of Aquarius, for people born in that sign. I have several friends, and once I got to know them, this is my interpretation of what that personality, the patterns that it brings. And you can see, for instance, on one side there is a candle, which represents the fire. The other side has a faucet, which represents the water. I mean, it's a kind of a practical representation. And many of the elements and symbolism here really reflects, my feelings and my thoughts about that specific type of personality, and dedication to my friends who are in that sign, just for example.
Yeah, so I noticed these first two pieces are indicative of one of the areas in your style of using multiple colors. But I also noticed, particularly going through your gallery and going through your website, you do have a part of you where you have a dominant color, and this one here, you've got a really strong kind of dominant red-orange color. So what's this one called? Well,
this one is called Full Intensity, and I guess hopefully the colors speak the message, the boldness and color, and just the feeling. That's what it's about. Now, this type of pieces, just very quickly, not to bore you guys, but what I do, I take the canvas, I take care of my disabled mother in addition to being an artist. So sometimes I have to take her to the ocean when the weather allows. So I bring a chair and I bring a canvas. And what I do is I just simply create something, I sketch something that has absolutely no meaning, no feeling. Sometimes it's just a reflection of the day, maybe the people around me, maybe my thoughts. And this is a perfect expression. It was an intense, warm day, and I have sketched this piece. And when I came home, I decided to use this palette. And I think it came out, some pieces I love, some pieces I'm like, they're okay. They just make others look more special. But this one is the special. This one I love personally, and I've selected it for the show. So it's not about anything specific. It has to speak to you, or it shouldn't. So that's how I do. That's how I approach it.
I think this one, like a number of your pieces, for me, this would be what I would call a room dominator. So this isn't a piece of art that would kind of sit alongside a load of other stuff. For me, this one, this goes on the wall, or this goes somewhere where, this would say, this is my wall, this is my space, come look at me, because it's really powerful.
Thank you. And what's also cool about it? You can rotate it. You get bored with one position, you rotate it, and you will see completely different, set of images. Or that's kind of the magic. Is that even when I do it, I rotate the artwork, and I'm being an observer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that actually, because the previous pieces were obviously they're portrait, and they stand up the way they stand up. But this looked to me like you could. I actually thought to myself when I was putting it onto the slide deck, have I put it the right way up? But it doesn't matter, does it?
Yes, I have a few of those pieces that have this multi-angle view, and I encourage the owners of the artworks to rotate them once in a while, just to get a new feel.
Well, this one is interesting because this kind of has a kind of when we looked at it with Phil earlier, this is kind of like a Mayan feel to it. So is that an influence here?
Thank you very much, sir. You are very, very sharp. Absolutely. This is a little fact about my life. I moved to the United States when I was 18 years old as a Jewish refugee from Moscow. And I moved from a very, sort of a gray, dark, vision of the world in terms of colors. I believed in photorealistic approach. And it's just so happened that my family, we were relocated to Tucson, Arizona, which is very close to Mexico, and has this influence of, I wouldn't say Mayan, but Native American culture. And I think the combination of this was this completely new style that came about. And this is, again, one of my anthems, one of my praises to Mayan Native American roots. Well, this painting is called Gypsy King. So it's, there's also a deeper meaning. And if you look at it, if you look deeper in the area of his shoulders, you'll see that there is actually a bull and a fox. So there are very interesting, intricate elements, and I often don't know what it means. And I believe that people who get this triggering sensation that they need to either have this painting or they just love it, it's because there is a message. I just encode the message in a way that is not even conscious to me. And I believe that those who are supposed to understand the message, they see it, and others don't. Maybe it sounds a little strange, but that's one of those pieces that it looks pretty, but it has a deeper meaning for those who can see into the depth.
That's fantastic, and I do like, and this particular thing I like about this piece is funnily enough, is the very, very dark background kind of almost pushes the colours out even stronger to you. Of all your pieces, this I could see on my wall. This is gorgeous. Absolutely love it. What inspired you here? Because I spent ages looking at this earlier, trying to work out what shapes were forming. The petals, is there a boot in there or some faces? I wasn't sure, but it's really mesmerizing.
I'm debating whether I should be candid talking about this piece, or I probably should. You know, when you're an artist, and especially when you become recognized and people start buying your art, there is a certain feeling where you have to realize that some pieces of art that you will create, they will not be purchased. You just do them, you know, for your heart. And you have to balance it out. You have to create certain other artworks that are more appeasing and more pleasing to the eye, where you sort of have a more calculated message in what you do. They're less random. Unlike Full Intensity, what you saw before, you know, this piece resonates with people because it's designed to present this quality of beauty, this aesthetic. And what I do is, it's almost as if I want to take my style to the level where I express maximum, you know, pleasure for the eye. And yet, if you do look into this piece, you will see there are multiple faces. There are faces trapped inside that flower that are, not all of them are happy. It's a very complicated piece that, to me, was designed to be, you know, something that I knew that would be appreciated and seen as something that I could, you know, sell.
Yeah.
But it also has this secret message inside, and that flower really represents, you know, perhaps a little capture of what I felt.
And how, just give us a sense of perspective of this. How big is this piece?
This piece is, well, I will tell you in inches. So it is it's 36 tall by 24. So I wonder if I have any pieces.
Yeah, 3 feet by.
So it's a pretty, it's just recently was purchased at the gallery, and this lady, she came and she said, "Alex, I fell in love with it. I could not walk away." What's intriguing about it is actually the textures. I don't want to talk too much about this piece, but what I had fun with it. I always try to work in such a way that I have to enjoy it. If I don't love what I'm doing, I'm done. I'm dead. Okay. So that I'm trying to always come up with ways to make it more exciting. And this piece specifically, I am using some new materials, new textures. I have been purchasing some materials that they use to paint cars. You know, the powders that have incredible longevity. They're metallic based, and they have all this color shifting and color changing effects. So I've been actually using those materials and mixing them with acrylic mediums, just exploring and trying new things, and the results are quite incredible. So, and this piece, the photograph does nothing, unfortunately. Yeah. You have to, if anybody is interested, I do have a video on my Instagram. So that's where I'm actually showing it in a perspective where it shows you the textures and the little intricacies. But okay, enough about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's jump into the art of Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. So for those of you that are watching this video for the first time, the art of Sherlock Holmes is a project conceived and curated by a Sherlock Holmes author called Phil Growick, who lives in sunny West Palm Beach. So I'm here visiting with Phil. And we'll talk more about the first project. This is the second book in the series. It's the Art of Sherlock Holmes USA edition. And this is a small glimpse of the piece that Alex has done for us for the book. And you can actually see the same glimpse behind you because it's behind Alex's right shoulder. But as part of the tease, if you like, for these books, what we do is we don't show the full pieces until the book comes out. We will actually be having 3 of the pieces released a little bit earlier. But let me ask you, Alex, this is a different concept here. You've been given a Sherlock Holmes short story, and you've been asked to create a piece of art from it. What was that experience like?
All right. Well, it was actually a new experience, indeed. In the past, I have been a graphic designer, so I have created covers for CDs. I designed covers for the book. So I had some concept in terms of how to approach it in a way, you know, what I guess the expectations could be. But it's been many years since I've stopped being a graphic designer. And partially me stopping being one was because I was tired of um, sacrificing my creativity for the business needs. And I decided that, what, I want to be an artist. I'd rather do something else. I'm an interpreter, and I help people, and I do other things in life. But um, part of the contract, I guess, with myself was that I want to work in such a way that I'm completely free to create what I want. Unless I'm channeling my own language, it's not worth it, once again. Kind of like no compromises. Now, this piece, it was originally, I guess, a little bit challenging in terms of I did not want to disappoint. I was thinking that how do I create something that is appeasing and understandable? But then I realized that in the way I was selected, the reason why I was picked for this project was because of my unique, uncompromising ability to do what I want and try to come up with things that just flow from my subconscious. And that's exactly the approach that I've used. I got the, so when I read it, I actually didn't read it. What I did, I installed this application that reads it out loud to you. And on my trip to Palm Springs from San Diego, I actually listened to the book. And it was very interesting. It was a very interesting story. It had this modern, in my eyes, modern twist. It was a little bit risque. It was definitely written in the style of Conan Doyle, but at the same time, I guess it had a very modern feeling to it, or at least it was talking about subjects in a way that we discuss it in a modern society without fear of judgment. So when you see this painting, you will see the reflection of all those interesting elements in the book. And the side that you get to see right now, you see, there is a part of the book, I don't want to reveal the story, but it has to do with a moment where one of the characters is in a delirium caused by psychoactive drugs. And a lot of what I decided to express in the painting is perhaps what he feels, what he sees. So there are elements of a story mixed with perhaps what his crazy imagination at the moment of the delirium could generate. And hopefully you will enjoy the result. But just technically, very quickly, I first sketched it, but then I decided I'm just going to take a canvas and I'm just going to go at it. I'm just not going to be afraid. Whatever comes out, the universe will help me channel this. And honestly, when it was done, I said to myself, I can't believe that I did this. It almost feels like it's not my child, like somebody else was moving my hand. So I'm really excited. It's a great piece. I'm very proud of it. It's not just a piece that I feel like I've created for somebody because they asked me to or because I had to. Like, it's really a product of enjoyable labor.
Fantastic, Alex. I have to say, it is an absolutely stunning piece. I mean, really,
thank you.
Really rather beautiful. I wish we could show everybody on the video, but everybody who's watching you'll be able to see it very, very soon, we promise. And it will be in the Art of Sherlock Holmes USA edition, which will be coming out in the fall with more than a dozen artists from all across the USA who are contributing to the book. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the reason why I'm here in West Palm Beach. The Art of Sherlock Holmes, the first book, is going to be launched on the 25th of May. The exhibition with all of the art in it was released on the 10th of May. And it's running until the 3rd of June at the incredible Anne Norton Sculpture Gardens here in West Palm Beach. I had the pleasure of going to the gallery with Phil yesterday. We walked around and we saw all of the art. Many of the pieces have already sold, which is incredible. And the press coverage has been amazing. It's been on TV. Many newspapers, magazines have covered this. And I think the overall concept of creating art from Sherlock Holmes stories seems to be resonating with both art fans and Sherlock Holmes fans as well. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you this afternoon. I really hope to see a lot more of your art, and I really hope that we can work with you again and again on this project in the coming years, because your work is incredible.
Thank you so much, Steve, and you will, I promise you, absolutely. Thank you so much for this chance, and dear friends, once again, I hope that you visit, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Fantastic. I don't need too much of an excuse to come to San Diego, for sure. Thank you very much.
Well, come on when the weather gets better. Bye-bye.